How much does this man love to sleep? Fell asleep while waiting for the subway. Almost killed. Fell asleep on the rooftop. Almost fell to death. Fell asleep while driving. Almost killed. Fell asleep during the live broadcast. Almost squirted to death. But he still isn't dead. God doesn't want him to die, but want to play him to death. The diagnosis result came out. Benno got brain cancer. Once excited, my lips will fall asleep. Fortunately, this situation will not last too long. Because the condition has gone away. He will drink the same fart soon. Do you think Benno is particularly miserable? Actually, there is something worse than him. This is equipped with an oxygen cylinder with a nasal suction tube. The 6i man in gay is called an Yi. Is an outdated pianist. He who wants to be popular is a part-time full-time broadcaster. There are 12 fans in total. There is also a dead fan. He has pulmonary fibrosis. No immunity. A common cold can kill him. Andy's only dream. Someone can give him a lung. He is just daydreaming. Two men who are not favored by God. We met on the rooftop of the hospital like this. Andy is desperate. During the live broadcast, he revealed that he was going to end his life. But somebody has taken a step ahead of him. The Benno who can sleep casually. Came to the rooftop early to find death. The two people talked to each other about the injustice of fate. But at the last moment they all. Two people's death on the rooftop. Turned into a rooftop blower. Listen to Andy's grumbling egg. Benno suddenly. Fell asleep. Hee hee hee. Diligent. Hee hee hee. Alright. Fortunately, Andy pulled it back. In this way, the two became dead brothers. For them now. Living a day is earning a day. But no one thought that the two of them would experience one soon. Fatal adventure. And all of this originated in a warehouse in the hospital. Benno found the warehouse full of packages. What's even stranger is that none of these packages have been opened. Benno learned from the management circle. These are bought by the critically ill patient through credit. They are not going to pay for it. Hearing this, Benno immediately got a bold idea. He hurried to find Andy. Straight to the point. Instead of waiting here to die, why don't we go and see the world together? In the few days left. Do things that ordinary people can't even think of. Let them leave no regrets for the rest of their lives. The two hit it off and they talked about it. First in front of the two. How to solve the money problem. Go loan if you have no money. I can't pay it back anyway. Because Benno is a dark household. Andy gets dressed up. The two came to the bank. Don't tell me if you are wrong. The blushing cheeks look more energetic than normal. But they overlooked a little. Andy can only support up to minutes without inserting the oxygen tube. Bank procedures are too complicated. Just when the loan is about to be released. What's the moth? Andy blushes with suffocation. He might not live if he doesn't take oxygen. Between money and loyalty. Andy chose to live. Obviously this time I failed to make money. The two walked down the street in frustration. But God finally looked at them once. A billboard next to a store. Caught Benno's attention. Yes, this billboard ing. 0 down payment shopping. Will let them open a new world. The two methods of making money are two wolf. They started to cash out with credit frantically. First, buy a whole car of home appliances. Resell. This is back to the down payment of gold. One person picks a gold ring. Resell. Down payment car. Drive away. Resell. In this way, they cash out through buying and selling. Got a sack of cash easily. They are two dead men who have a terminal illness. A brain cancer. One got lung cancer. They don't know when they will die. So I don't worry about repayment at all. The two drove a luxury car. Ecstatically cheering. NSE is about to live a life that I didn't dare to expect before. Andy was excited and started a live broadcast to show off his wealth. Shunwin received 500 likes. This is the excitement he wants. At this moment, they are no longer patients. They are. Every time they are still patients. The money problem is solved. The two formed a travel combination called Lying Ping Boy. Ah, the name is very suitable. The luxury life is about to start. They came to the airport. Andy doesn't even have a destination. Benno asked Andy to close his eyes and point blindly. I haven't seen this, promise. Just tell Andy that it's Africa. The two then boarded first class. Start showing off your wealth mode when you get on the plane. They face the netizens. Sun food. Drying tableware. Air ticket. Even exposed a gun. Benno explained that one is for self-defense. The second is to save it for the last time. This momentum sounds like desperados. When they arrive in Africa, they eat and live with the stars. Every day, I'm taking a bath in the sea breeze and sunbathing on the beach. Andy's fans have also risen from 100 digits to 1 million per day. The two greeted the fans happily. To make travel more convenient, Benno bought an RV directly, promised to take Andy to the end of the world. In fact, there is always a secret in Benno's heart. This is why he insists on coming to Africa. Traveling is more convenient with Fang Jun. They bathed in the rain of the primeval forest, ate natural food, watched the night on the construction site, sleeping in the safest bed in Africa. The next day they came to the African savannah. Andy walked under the tree and released each one to his heart's content. Little did he know that the danger was about to force him to prove. An African lion walked slowly towards him, and is also a rookie. They looked at each other 4 times. Andy slowly reads his eyes and prepares to accept the fate. But the lion turned around in an action. Aha! Fortunately, a false alarm. The two continue on the road. Death comes anytime, but they have nothing to fear. Way to gas station. They got into the local aboriginals. Had to flee in a hurry. Who knows an African child? Hid in their car early. He came to steal. I didn't expect to be taken away by the two. The two can only travel with the boy. Then Andy and Benno had a dispute over the route. It turns out that Benno arranged everything in advance. He has a daughter who married his ex-wife to Africa across the country. It's a pity that we meet again at the wedding of my ex-wife. When I saw my daughter, I was knocked to the ground with a punch. At the critical moment, Andy took out the gun to resolve the crisis. Just like this, Benno and his wife and daughter broke up. They can only continue on the road. Andy forgave Benno in the dark. After all, they have a lot of time. It makes no sense to pretend. Maybe every one of us is like this. At the last moment. Oh, understand how precious it is to accompany the people around you. The two comforted each other. It seems that death is not as terrible anymore, but now they are not dead. The extravagant life has to go on. But what they didn't expect was, they are about to become nothing. 2 dying men have a sack full of money. They were still worried about Versailles last second. Can you spend the money before you die? They collapsed in the next second. But wake up the next day. The little African boy taken in before not only stole their car at night, and took away all their money. The two quickly understood the most painful thing in life. It's not that people die and the money is not spent, but people are alive and money is gone. The two came to the edge of the cliff. Decided to end myself here. Just then a message interrupted their plan. Andy needn't die. There was news from the hospital that the lungs were matched. Andy wants to return home immediately. But what about Benno? His brain cancer is truly terminally ill. Benno is even more desperate standing alone by the beach. Benno can only fly solo after taking out the gun. At this moment he remembered something. He did not choose to commit suicide. He wants to take a look at his daughter one last time. He was lost and found his ex-wife with his own case. But the ex-wife saw the problem with the case at a glance. It turns out that the medical record is not Benno's name at all. The hospital is wrong. Benno immediately fell down. One is because of the excitement of escaping from the dead. The third is because I have to pay my brother the huge debt. When Benno woke up, he immediately thought of Andy. Andy is not so lucky. What kind of lungs are there? He fell into a trap designed by the police. I was under surveillance as soon as I returned to China. More unfortunately, Andy got a cold. He has no antibodies at all. Die soon. Just then a person appeared behind the nurse. Turned out to be Benno. After understanding Andy's situation, Benno is going to send Andy the last ride. Let Andy die with dignity. First, take Andy away from the police. Through the perfect cooperation of hospital nurses, they successfully lied to the police. Benno took the opportunity to bring Andy to the rooftop. In the night Andy remembers crazy travel, sunbathing, gourmet food, African lion. Those all the good times make his life no longer have regrets. He no longer fears. Have the courage to face death. Andy comforts Benno. He already has a life. The best day. Benno asks which day. Andy answer every day with you. Wrong me. The orange-red sunrise shines on Andy's face. He closed his eyes quietly. Death is not terrible. Each of us will face death. The scary thing is that we never really lived. After Andy died, Benno goes to court. The lawyer says Benno is innocent because of the misdiagnosis by the hospital. But Benno's next sentence made the lawyer want to resign on the spot. This misdiagnosis is the best thing that has ever happened to me. What about you? What kind of life would you choose? Pin is alive.